Hey everyone, RJ here with CV Tech, and today I will be unboxing the iPhone 7. Now this phone has been out for quite some time, but I'm doing this unboxing here and just showing if this phone is still worth buying in 2019. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So the iPhone 7 has been out for some time now, and there is a lot of videos online about the iPhone 7, including unboxings, reviews, stuff of that nature. So this is kind of like a retro type unboxing here of the iPhone 7, but it's also me going through the phone a little bit and just seeing if it's still worth picking up here in 2019. So anyway, like I said, this is the iPhone 7. The iPhone there on the side. On the back, this is the 32 gigabyte version. And, I picked this up at Walmart for Straight Talk and Total Wireless. And this phone is currently going, at the time of this video, it's only going for $299. And honestly, for an iPhone 7, on Straight Talk for right at 300 bucks, that don't sound too awful bad. Now, I know that if you buy the phone unlocked, you're liable to pay near 500 bucks for this phone still. But when it's locked down to a carrier, then you can usually get it for a lot cheaper. But in here, of course, is just your manual, your Apple stickers back here as well. Of course, you got the phone here. We'll set to the side. You have just your typical Apple charging brick there. You also have your earbuds here that, is lightning cable ported because, the iPhone 7 was the first iPhone to not have a headphone jack, unfortunately. And you get your lightning cable in there as well. So pretty much that's all that comes in the box. We'll go ahead and put all this stuff back in here. And we'll go ahead here and look at the phone. Now, the phone here, I think is in matte black. Let's go ahead and just pull off this wrapping here. And honestly, from the front, you would think, iPhone 6, iPhone 6S, the back of it here, I like this matte black look here. It looks really nice. Got your single rear camera with your microphone and flash, your Apple logo, your iPhone down here. On the right, you do get the power button as well as your SD slot. On top, you do get nothing at all. On the left side, of course, is your volume rockers with your sound and mute button. And on the bottom is your lightning cable and your speaker and microphone. Now, I think the iPhone 7 does have stereo speakers, which is really nice. On the front, of course, is your second generation Touch ID, your receiver, and your front-facing camera. Go ahead and power the phone on here. And, of course, it's your typical Apple logo. So, I'm going to go ahead, let this phone set up, and I'll come back in just a few. So, the iPhone 7 is set up now, and it's ready to go. And honestly, from just a few minutes here of messing with it, it feels a lot like just the iPhone 6S. But of course, with this phone here, you do get the A10 chip, which of course is a bump up from the A9 and the 6S and the SE. You get stereo speakers, which is a major improvement. The second gen Touch ID is a bit different, of course, a little bit more different getting used to here. But, it's not a big deal. It's, it's just a Touch ID. And, I'm sure there's a few other differences as well. So, I'm not very familiar with all the ins and outs of an iPhone, like some others are. But, I have used them enough to know how they work. So, yeah, this is the 32 gigabyte version. As I'll go in here and I will show you right now in general and about. Of course, you see there we got 32 gigabytes of storage with 22 gigabytes out of the box. This is running Android version 12.1.2. Now, I will also be, of course, using this on Total Wireless, put my SIM card in here, using it, trying it out, trying the cameras out. The rear camera, the front camera being a 7 megapixel instead of a 5 megapixel on the 6S. I'm interested to really try this phone out, see how it's going to work in battery life, see how it's going to work in overall performance, some live streams maybe, and stuff of that nature. But I mean, honestly, an iPhone is just an iPhone. I mean, a lot of the settings are the same. A lot of the layout is the same. Pretty much you buy an Apple, you buy the same look, you buy the same feel. Just some are faster than others. Some are bigger displays and stuff like that. And of course, when it comes to iPhones, it all mainly boils down to better camera performance. It boils down to better gaming performance, better multitasking, the more RAM you get in the higher end iPhone, stuff of that nature. But honestly, you know, for the iPhone 7 in 2019, I still think that if you can get this phone for a good price, it's still a very good phone to buy. Okay, it's going to work perfectly. Even the 6S does everything that I want it to do. As far as if I want to play a graphic intense game, it'll play it just fine. Multitasking is no problem. Of course, with the A10 chip here, it has the same 2 gigabytes of RAM. I believe that the 7 Plus gets 3 gigabytes of RAM instead of 2. But honestly, for basic usage, and really for any usage you do on your phone, the iPhone 7 is still going to be a really good phone to buy here in 2019. I mean, going to the camera here, I'm going to go ahead and turn the flash off because I don't really need it. Take a picture here of this iPhone logo. And it's just going to look good, okay? I mean, bring it, okay, got it here. I mean, bringing it in here, I mean, that picture is just very, very sharp, okay? We all know that iPhones have good cameras. And this can record at 4K, it can record 1080p, 60 frames per second. And like I said, I haven't really dove into the whole phone, to the iPhone 7. I know that it's going to have a few more features than the 6S, the SE, and all of those. But this is the latest iPhone that I have purchased. And, you know, like I say, it's an iPhone. You know, I like an iPhone. They're good to use. They're very optimized in their apps. Even some Google apps work better on iOS than on Google, which is kind of crazy. But, you know, just for a very simple experience, you know, I know some say that, you know, the iPhones are hard to use and they're hard to get used to, but honestly, this thing is so simple to get used to. Once you get used to it, once you learn it, and once you get everything down pat and get everything signed in and all your settings set, an iPhone is so simple. It's just very, very easy to use. And, you know, I am more of an Android fan than an Apple fan, but I do use Apple. Okay, I do use iPhones, and I have no, you know, I'll use them both. I like them both just fine. So, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, like I said, this phone here I got on Straight Talk and it's for Straight Talk and Total Wireless. You can use it on either carrier. They're both CDMA. And this one right here is now going for $299 for Straight Talk and Total Wireless. If you want the Plus model, you got to pay $100 more at $399. And that's locked down to Total Wireless, so that's getting kind of pricey. But I think $300 for an iPhone 7 is not that bad of a price, especially when you're going to get a phone that's going to get plenty more updates because, you know, it's an iPhone and they get a lot of updates. It's going to be fast, powerful. You can play all your games, multitask, do whatever you want to do, and it's going to work just fine, okay? It's an iPhone. And iPhones tend to work, and they work good, and they work for a long time if you take care of them. And, you know, with the stereo speakers, the A10 chip, you know, and a few other features that I got to dig in there and find, I think that, you know, the iPhone 7 is still very worth picking up in 2019 if you get it for a good price. So that's just my little 2019 unboxing and my thoughts of the iPhone 7. And first impressions here in hand is it's just basically a 6S with upgraded features. Okay, it looks the same, it feels the same, and so there is some differences, of course, that I just, like I said, I have not got in there and really dug in with yet. But yeah, it's an iPhone 7. So anyway, if this was helpful and informative at all, hit that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it below, and subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell for notifications. I'd appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.